Okay, so today we are doing day 4, solving logs, and I am starting with this little practice quiz. So I'll pause for a second, have you guys finish these 3 questions. Okay, so here we are. Answers. This one's in log form. If I want it in exponential form, I just rewrite it. But there's no other side to the equation. So you say equals x, and then you rewrite it. 5 to the x equals 24. That's all they asked for. They didn't ask for the answer. They just asked you to rewrite it as an exponential. Raise your hand if you wrote it correctly. Good, we're good on that one then. The next one. This one's definitely kind of complicated because I'm going to rewrite it just as a vertical fraction because the side-by-side fractions, most math teachers really don't like those. Now, if the 4 and the 3 were reversed, like upside down, then it would match up better with that 9/16. Then you could just square them, right? So how do I get it to square and flip? -2. So if, wait a minute, -2 would take this one and square it and make it even bigger. So negative what? 1/2. Good. Now if you're like, how could I have actually like computed that? Make the bases the same. If you just can't like figure this one out in your head, then make the bases the same. This one could be a 4/3 if I rewrite it, but I can't just say it is 4/3. It's not, but it's 4/3 to the -2. And why, wait a minute, 4/3 to the -2. Why is this good? Because now the bases are the same, 4/3 and 4/3 are the same, so then the powers have to be equal. But this one doesn't have a power, so there's a 1 there. So then -2x equals 1, x equals -1/2. And I get that was a lot of like extra work to show you how I got it. If you can do that little last step in your head, that'd have been okay. I need to see some work though. Remember, you guys are all heading towards calculus. You're in honors higher algebra right now. Next year you'll probably be, most of you will be in honors pre-calc, some will be in regular pre-calc. Some of you might back off and take FST and slow down a little bit. And that's not a bad idea because honestly, once you've taken pre-calc, there's like no way to slow down. Like if you're on the faster track than you should be in, next year you should take FST to back off a little bit, okay? Because once you've taken pre-calc, you gotta go to calc. There's like no other logical choice. Senior year, you can back off and do something. A lot of kids, if they're feeling like they're getting really lost in math, they'll back off. Senior year, we got a couple options that can be kind of like your last math class, but you can't do that as a junior. As a junior, you got to keep moving forward and taking the big, harder level classes. So anyway, you're all going to be next year in some form of pre-calc or maybe a few of you in FST. And then the year after that is calc. In calculus, on the big AP test, whether you go IB or AP, you're going to take the AP test. Both of those classes give you the AP test. Okay, so almost all of you, not all of you, but almost all of you are going to take that higher level one that makes you take the AP test. When you take the AP test, if you don't show the work, you only get 1 out of 9 points. If you have the right answer, totally right answer, you'll get 1 right out of 9 because 8 points are for showing the work in between. Okay, so this isn't just us evil math teachers at the high school here. It's the people who decide whether you get college credit or not need to see your work. That's not just an us thing. All right, so on to number 3. This one's just a put it in your calculator thing. Log 16 divided by log 3. I hope you got that pattern by now. And notice I changed the base. This one had a base of 3. What is the base of the one I just did? Base 10. Could you do it in base E if you wanted to? Yes, it's ln key then. Either way, ln 16 over ln 3, or log 16 over log 3, gets you a decimal. I think it's like, what is it, 1 point something? 2.5 something, or 2.52, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good enough. All right. Why are they talking about change of base? Because that's what we just did. Changed it from base 3 to base 10. All right. Any questions on 1, 2, or 3? How many of you would have had a perfect paper if this was the test? All right. Test is harder than this, of course. All right, moving on. We did yesterday the kind where the x was in the base. Now we're doing, actually we still do some of these as a review, but most the new stuff here is supposed to be where x is somewhere in the exponent. That means the x is somewhere on the right here. And the cool part is that means x is often already alone. That means if you can just simplify this part, and you're good at that, making these bases the same as each other, if you're good at that, then today's going to be easy. So I feel like today really isn't too tough. All right. So this is something we already had done. This yellow one is the one I'd like to do next. Now there's two choices. Some kids like to rewrite this 1/2 to the x equals 32. Some kids like to just take the 32 and make it into 1/2 to the something. That is the faster way. Do you get then the bases will be the same? So let me teach you that faster way. How do I make this into 1/2 to the something? You just keep playing with numbers. What if I put it 1/2 to the second? That'd be 1/4. Nowhere near big enough. What's one thing you know has to be in the answer? A negative. Because now I can make it flip by that. So now it's flipping and squaring, and now it's 4. It's getting closer. Now I just got to use a bigger power. Negative what? Negative 5. Yep. And if you can do that, the cool thing is this is the answer. No more work needed. If you can show that you have the bases the same, then the power is that exponent right there if the bases are the same. The base of the log and the base of that little argument there. All right. So the answer is negative 5. Could I have done that the old-fashioned way here? Yes. This one, I would have probably rewritten this as this 1/2 as a 2 to the negative 1. And then I bring down the x. I would have rewritten this 32 as a 2 to the 5th. And then I would have had to solve now that the bases are the same. And that would equal that. And either way, your answer comes out to negative 5. I think it's here. I'll write this out. Negative 1x equals 5. Negative x equals 5. That's why x equals negative 5. The answer is negative 5. Okay, on to the next one. This pale green one. That's the color of choice for spooky children's books. Do you remember Dr. Seuss's pale green pants with nobody inside them? If you've never been exposed to that book, I've got that at the back of this Sneetch's book. So I'll just read you a little paragraph from this. Well, I was walking in the night, and I saw nothing scary, for I have never been afraid of anything. Not very. Then I was deep within the woods when suddenly I spied them. I saw a pair of pale green pants with nobody inside them. Very spooky for little kids. In fact, I remember my son being so freaked out by this book. It's probably because I read it in a really scary voice and stuff. He would be so freaked out by this book. He didn't even want to hear this book. His sisters liked it, but he was like, oh, this is too much. Now he's in the Air Force. All right. That really would have been a good one. I like that. Could have tortured him with pale green pants instead of clowns like I did my daughters. All right. So anyway, this one, if I could just write that as a 5 to the something, this problem would be so much better. Let me just show you why. Because then if I add log base 5 of 5 to the something, do you get, I would be like really close to just having the answer for this whole thing if I just knew the question mark? So what is 5 to the what? Makes 1 over 125. It's complicated. Don't like negative makes it flip, so there'll be 5 would turn into 1/5, and then negative 3 does the job. Good. So then what's the answer? Well, the answer is, and kids a lot of times don't get this. You got to replace this whole thing now with a negative 3. All right, so we have negative 3 for that part equals 2x minus 6, and if you have to get help solving that one, it's kind of sad. You're in honors higher algebra. That's just plain old algebra. You want help? Yeah, I figured. Okay, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and then this becomes 3 equals 2x, and then divide by 2, The only thing that happens a lot is people try to do it in their head and they get 2/3, but it's not, it's 3/2. All right, any questions on that one? Okay, let's move on. What was the moral to the story? This is that one that we said on the front page. Like you'd be getting up to doing this level of problem by today. Well, that's kind of what we do. One step at a time, it's not that bad. The hard step was make this into 5 to a power. And that's fraction power thing, and that's still a big deal. And like for this chapter, that's like the #1 thing. If you get making complicated things into fraction powers, this isn't going to be that bad for you. All right, this one. Once again, I'm going to need a fraction power here to finish the day or finish the deal. But I don't want to just make this into x over 5. I can't make that into x over 5 to the something. So then rewrite. This is a log right now. Rewrite it so it's not a log anymore. This to the this equals that. And then fight your way through it. See if you can get x alone. Notice this is a no calc question. So that means all the numbers are doable in your head. All right, start by rewriting it. X over 5 to the, and put it in parentheses, to the, and then keep going from there. I'll pause for a second. Let me try that. Keep going. Yep. Yep. And now I got to make the what's the what. I got to make the bases the same. Wait a minute, you can't make the bases the same on this, Mr. Server, because you can't turn that into one of these. You can't make the bases the same. So what do you think we should do? Put it to the power of 1/3. Thank you for changing how you said that. Power of 1/3. Is this the kind that brings in the plus minus? No, because it's an odd root as opposed to an even root. If that had been at 1/2 and a 1/2, we'd need a plus minus. And then this cancels this. And I'm at x over 5, x is almost alone, equals, ooh, that seems icky, but it's really not that bad. It's just third roots. So what are they? 4/3, yeah. So from here, it's become pretty easy, actually. Now, you can do this the middle school way, which was to cross multiply, and that works. But I think there's a faster way. How do you get the x alone? Times 5. And the cool thing is, you don't have to a whole nother step. You just have that step. And then if you can do 4 times 5 divided by 3, you have your answer. Now, if you cross multiplied, it would work. It'd be legal, but it takes you 2 steps. This is only 1. And this way gets rid of the denominator by multiplying by 5. So x equals 20/3. Raise your hand if you had 20 over 3. Awesome. Okay. Any questions on that one? Okay. This one. One more after this, and then I think we're done, and you're going to be working on your homework. So this one has to be rewritten. It's my first thought. Actually, no, not really. Actually, I could just change that into 4/49 to a power. Because get how then the bases would be the same? But how do you make 2/7 into a 4/49? I'll give you a hint. You write it out. It'll make it easier. And you just got to figure out, what do you put here? Because if you get that number right, you've got the answer. 4/49 to the... Would you agree it does not need to flip? It does not need to flip. And therefore, it's not negative. It's positive. Do I need the numbers to get bigger or smaller? And what does that? A 1/2 does that. The 1/2 power is the square root. And that's it. The answer is 1/2. And if I had a kid write out this and then put a 1/2 right here, I wouldn't need to see any more work, because that means the answer is 1/2. If those two are the same, that's the answer. Now, I know some people are uncomfortable with that way, and I just want to show you the other way. The other way would be a rewrite. 4/49 to the x equals 2/7. And this way works fine too. You need to get a common base. That and that need to be the same. I'm not going to try to make this. Actually, I could. It wouldn't be that hard to make 2/7 into 4/49. So I'm going to make 4/49 be my base. You can do it other ways, I know. But if I make this 4/49ths, it'll have to be to the power of what? 4/49ths to the what makes 2/7 is the question. 1/2. And then the bases are the same, x equals 1/2. Either way, the answer is 1/2. I just tried to show you two ways to get it. Okay. Now, if you're having trouble with that, my advice to you is you gotta get better at fraction powers, because that's what this lesson is mostly about. All right, this one says here in the hint area, this last exercise, as in this exercise could have been solved in one step by applying the property log base a of a to the x equals x. What they're saying is make the bases the same. So without, those of you that aren't good at this yet, try it on this one. Make that into 2/7 to the something, and you have the answer. Pause for just 10 seconds. If you don't have it by then, you probably really don't have fraction powers. I'll pause. So it's log base 2/7 of 2/7 to the what? What's power? Second, 2. Because 2/7 squared is 4/49ths, and therefore its bases are the same, and therefore the answer is 2. Okay, cool. This one looks really, really scary. Gentlemen, focus. This one looks really scary, but if you just take one little piece at a time and keep fixing it and making it easier, and then maybe at some point do a rewrite, you can solve it. And I think this is the last of the major topics I got to go through. So do your best on this. See if you can stay with me for another 3 minutes, and then we're pretty much done. Okay, one little piece at a time. Do you get that that really means 4? Did you get that this really means square root of 9 is 3/6, also known as 1/2? So really, it's not that scary. It's just log base a plus 5 of this one was 4 is equal to this one turned out to be 1/2. It starts by being 3/6, and you reduce it to 1/2. Then you have to have some ability to rewrite. This one, you're not going to be able to make this and this have the same base, are you? No. So you have to be able to rewrite this thing. So then it's a plus 5 to the 1/2. And what mistake did I just make right there? Parentheses. Good. Equals, and it wraps around and comes back to the 4. There. So it starts here, goes over here. You always go back and forth on these when you're rewriting. Then I'm putting both of them to the power of 2. So a plus 5 is 16. Add 5 to both sides. A equals 20. Sorry, it's minus 5 from both sides. And a equals 11. Raise your hand if you had 11. Sweet. All right, I think you're in good shape. Now, your homework for tonight is the even problems and even letters. All right. Now, what if you were having some trouble? Well, tomorrow morning is one of those mornings I am available. I'm available on Mondays and Thursdays. And I know of some people who have sometimes struggled to get A's, but then come in and get extra help, and that's what it takes for them to get over that hump and get the A. It's happened before. So if you are one of those kids where, dang it, I'm always getting like B's and maybe occasional A's, I want to get A's all the time, well, come in and get some help. I'm here tomorrow morning if you want the help. All right, but first thing you should do is do your homework. Kids make the mistake of thinking, I'll come in and get extra help, I'll do my homework then. But if all you do is come in and do your homework here, that means you'll have time to ask me like one question. Instead, do your homework before you come. And come with like, I don't get these 3, and then I can focus on those 3 with you and give you lots of help. By the way, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, when I'm not available in the morning, I'm available Mondays, Wednesday during Math, and Thursdays. But on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, there is this special math center that's available for extra help for you. There's kids that are about 2 years older than you, sometimes 3 years older than you, that are sitting in there who are really good math students. One of them has, if I remember correctly, I've heard, one of them got a 36 on their ACT, okay? They can help you with math. You don't have to wait till I'm available on Mondays and Thursdays. If it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, go get help from them. It's in the Media Center. Unlike the Writing Center, which is right out there on the Commons, it's in the Media Center or the port. But I encourage you to give it a try. If you haven't already tried it, it's really cool, and I'm glad that the high school kids from NHS are willing to be tutors. They get tutoring hours for it, so they're getting something out of it, but it's still pretty nice of them to be willing to do. And I encourage you to take advantage of it when you can. Okay, so that's all I got for the video.